Celebrities who lost everything imagine earning millions of dollars, living in mansions, driving luxury cars, flying on private jets, having everything people dream about, and then losing it. For some of the world's biggest celebrities, that became reality. From bad investments to expensive lifestyles to lawsuits, taxes, addictions, and shocking financial decisions, their fortunes disappeared, but some of them found a way back. Today, we're counting down 25 celebrities who lost huge fortunes and what happened next. Stay until the end, because the final story includes one of the most unbelievable celebrity comebacks ever. And before we begin, what's the biggest amount of money you've ever lost? Comment below. This is Celebsphere. Let's begin. Number 25, Nicolas Cage. At one point, Nicolas Cage was one of Hollywood's biggest earners. Movie after movie, huge paychecks. His earnings reportedly reached incredible levels, but success came with spending. Lots of it. Luxury homes or rare collectibles, private islands, castles, yes, actual castles. People started asking the same question: how could anyone spend that much money? Then reports of financial pressure and tax issues started appearing. Eventually, Cage had to sell properties and reduce spending. But unlike many people on this list, he kept working, film after film, project after project, and slowly rebuilt. Lesson: even huge incomes can disappear when spending grows faster than earnings. Number 24, MC Hammer. There was a time when MC Hammer looked unstoppable. Massive fame, chart success, money flowing in. But behind the scenes, expenses kept growing. Large staff, big lifestyle, heavy costs. The bills reportedly became impossible to sustain. Then came one of the most famous celebrity financial collapses. The success remained legendary, but the money didn't. Yet Hammer stayed active. Business, speaking, media. His story became one of reinvention, because losing money doesn't always mean losing influence. Number 23, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson became famous young, very young. At his peak, he earned enormous amounts of money, luxury spending, cars, homes, lifestyle. And then financial problems appeared. People were shocked. How could someone earn that much and still struggle financially? Tyson later spoke publicly about mistakes in rebuilding. Years later, he created one of the most surprising comeback stories. But his biggest lessons weren't about boxing. They were about money. And we'll return to Tyson later, because his story gets even bigger. Number 22, Toni Braxton. Success doesn't always protect people. Toni Braxton became a major music star. Awards, recognition, worldwide fame. But financial challenges followed. Health challenges also affected parts of her journey. Her story surprised many fans because people often assume celebrities stay wealthy forever. Reality can look very different. What people see publicly is not always what happens privately. Yet she kept creating, kept performing, and kept moving forward. Number 21, Burt Reynolds. There was a time when Burt Reynolds dominated entertainment. Huge success, big reputation, strong career years. But later, career changes and financial pressure appeared. Reports talked about debt and money struggles, and it reminded people of something important. Fame and long-term financial stability are not the same thing. Careers change, markets change, life changes, and sometimes rebuilding becomes necessary. Number 20, Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson became known around the world. Success brought opportunities, but also financial obligations. Reports discussed renovation expenses and tax challenges. And once again, the public learned something. A luxury lifestyle can cost more than people imagine. Sometimes maintaining wealth becomes harder than making it. Number 19, Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes built a successful acting career. For years, things looked strong. Then legal and tax problems became major headlines. His career slowed, momentum changed, and suddenly, everything looked different. But stories like this raise a bigger question. How many celebrities look rich while struggling behind the scenes? Because what's coming next gets even more surprising. So far, we've seen luxury lifestyles, huge earnings, and financial pressure. But the next celebrities prove something unexpected. Sometimes losing money isn't the hardest part. Sometimes it's losing everything around it. Number 18, Johnny Depp. For years, Johnny Depp was one of Hollywood's biggest names. Blockbuster movies, global fame, massive earnings. Everything looked unstoppable. But over time, headlines shifted. Reports of financial disagreements, expensive spending, legal battles, and public controversy began dominating conversations. Questions started appearing. How does someone earning so much face financial pressure? The story became bigger than money, because public image can change overnight. Still, he continued working, and many fans stayed loyal through the ups and downs. Number 17, 50 Cent built more than music. He became a brand, business, entertainment, investments. Success seemed endless. Then financial headlines surprised people. People started asking, how could someone this successful face money problems? But one thing separated his story: adaptation. Instead of disappearing, he evolved. Business moves, media, producing. His story became one of rebuilding through reinvention. Sometimes the comeback starts before people realize you fell. Number 16, Lindsay Lohan. Lindsay Lohan became famous very early. Movies, attention, success. But growing up in public brought pressure, career pauses, personal challenges, financial discussions, and constant media attention. People watched every move. Years later, and she gradually returned to projects and rebuilt her public image. Her story reminds people, life doesn't always move in a straight line. Number 15, Kim Basinger. Kim Basinger reached major success. Then came one decision that became famous: a risky financial commitment connected to real estate. Things didn't go as planned. Financial consequences followed. And suddenly, a major star became an example people still talk about today. Her story became a lesson about something important. Not every investment becomes success. Even famous people make expensive mistakes. Number 14, Brendan Fraser. At one point, Brendan Fraser seemed everywhere. Movies, recognition, success. Then things changed. Career slowdown, personal difficulties, financial pressure. For a while, people wondered what happened. But then something unexpected happened. People remembered him, fans returned, new opportunities appeared, and his comeback became one of Hollywood's most talked about returns. This isn't the last time we'll mention him, because his story becomes even bigger later. Number 13, Sinbad built a successful career through comedy and entertainment. For years, things looked stable, but financial struggles later became public. His story surprised fans, because once again, people realized something. Celebrity doesn't automatically mean endless money. Success can rise, success can fall, and rebuilding takes more than fame. Now, and the next part becomes even more surprising, because the celebrities ahead include athletes, music legends, and fortunes that disappeared in shocking ways.
The countdown has begun. Luxury lifestyles, athletes, music legends. Fortunes are disappearing.
Part 3, up to this point, we've seen actors, musicians, and business mistakes. But now, we're entering stories that became headlines around the world. Because these next fortunes didn't just shrink. Some disappeared in ways fans never expected. Number 12, Stephen Baldwin. Stephen Baldwin became known through acting and entertainment. Success created opportunities. But over time, financial problems and public reports about money challenges appeared. People often imagine celebrity income lasts forever, but fame and financial stability are not always connected. His story became another reminder. Earning money and keeping money are different skills. Number 11, Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman became one of the most recognizable sports personalities in the world. Success, attention, endorsements, big lifestyle. Everything looked larger than life. But later, Financial difficulties became part of the conversation. Fans were surprised. How does someone earn so much and still face challenges? Rodman's story showed that fame doesn't remove financial responsibility, and rebuilding takes more than reputation. Number 10, Aaron Carter. Aaron Carter found fame early, very early. Music, television, attention. But growing up under public pressure can come with difficult consequences. Financial discussions later became public, and many people started asking deeper questions. What happens when success arrives before adulthood? His story became a reminder that public success and private reality can look very different. Number 9, Terrell Owens. Terrell Owens became one of the biggest names in sports. Large contracts, huge career moments, major earnings. But later, financial headlines surprised many people. People started discussing spending, obligations, and life after peak career years. Because one thing people rarely think about is this: high income does not always mean long-term security, especially when income changes. Number 8, Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman became famous young. Millions of people knew his face. Success came early, but financial struggles later became widely discussed. His story raised difficult questions about money management and what happens when success comes before someone fully controls their own life. Many fans still see his story as one of the most emotional examples in entertainment history. Number 7, Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye became one of music's legendary names. Success, influence, recognition, but financial pressure and personal challenges became part of his journey. And his story showed something people often forget. Money problems can affect anyone, no matter the talent, no matter the fame, no matter the achievements. Which brings us to the final part, where the stories become even more unbelievable. Because next, we enter the biggest names, the biggest fortunes, and some of the most surprising comeback stories ever. Part 4 continues.
6 celebrities remain. Massive fortunes, luxury lifestyles.
Part 4. We've reached the final part, and these stories prove something surprising. Sometimes the biggest losses create the biggest comebacks. Let's continue. Number 6, Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson became one of music's most recognizable names. Success, tours, awards, a legendary career. But later, financial challenges and tax issues became major headlines. People were shocked. How could someone with such a long career face money pressure? But instead of disappearing, he kept creating, kept performing, kept moving forward, and over time, rebuilt. Number 5, Donald Trump, long before politics. Donald Trump became widely known through business and real estate. His public image centered around growth and success. But over the years, business setbacks and financial restructuring became part of his story. Supporters saw resilience, critics saw risk. But one thing people agree on: his journey became one of the most discussed financial comeback stories in modern public life. Love him or disagree with him, people still talk about the comeback. Number 4, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson became one of the biggest entertainers in history. Record-breaking success, global fame, huge influence. But reports over the years discussed major spending and financial pressure. Fans found it difficult to imagine. How could someone that successful face money concerns? Yet his legacy remained larger than money, because influence doesn't always follow bank accounts. And decades later, people still talk about his impact. Number 3, Brendan Fraser. Remember Brendan Fraser? We mentioned him earlier. Because his story became something bigger than finances. People remembered the movies. People remembered the performances. And something unexpected happened. The audience came back. Hollywood came back. New opportunities appeared. Awards followed. His comeback became one of the most emotional returns fans had seen in years. Proof that sometimes your second chapter becomes stronger than the first. Number 2, Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr.'s story became one of Hollywood's most famous transformations. There were difficult periods, career setbacks, public struggles, moments where people doubted a comeback. But then, everything changed. New opportunities, new roles, a return that many people once thought was impossible. Years later, he became one of Hollywood's biggest success stories. His journey became bigger than money. It became a story about rebuilding. Number 1, Mike Tyson. And here we are. Number 1, Mike Tyson, one of the most famous athletes in history. At his peak, he earned extraordinary amounts of money, luxury lifestyle, huge spending, global fame, and then financial collapse. For many people, it felt impossible. But what happened next made the story unforgettable. Tyson rebuilt. Business, media, public appearances, new projects, and slowly, he created a different version of success. His story became one of the biggest reminders that losing money does not always mean losing your future. Conclusion. And maybe that's the biggest lesson from this list. Many of these celebrities lost fortunes most people only dream about. Some made mistakes. Some faced unexpected challenges. Some rebuilt. Some never fully returned. But one thing stays true. Losing everything doesn't always mean the story is over. Sometimes, the greatest comeback begins after the greatest fall. Now tell me, which celebrity shocked you the most? Comment below, and if you enjoyed this countdown, subscribe to Celebsphere for more celebrity stories, rise and fall journeys, and untold entertainment history. See you in the next video.